Hello my loves, and this is a tutorial video for my little bird note cards and envelopes. There are 6 different birds in the kit. Let's have a look at those. They're two-sided. Look. There. There are 6 birds. There are 6 birds there. And they come with 3 envelopes. Now I'm sure you don't need a tutorial video to show you how to put the cards and the envelopes together. The envelopes have got this lovely printed back as well. What's nice about these little birds as well is that they stand up. You can't see on the video because you're top down obviously, but they stand up beautifully, and also if you tap them on the head they peck, so the effect is, yeah, like the effect is like that. They stand like that. Lovely for Christmas cards, lovely to nestle in a Christmas tree as well. Beautiful, beautiful jewel colours. And I'm sure if you're giving these as Christmas cards, they'll be very, very well received. And also, and as an extra, I have made Christmas decorations from these same little birds. I've reduced the size slightly, and I've set to with all different manner of embellishments. I've got UV resin here. You can use glossy accents. Indeed, I have used glossy accents on this flower here. I've got some bling with some stick-on gems on this one, and also a little heart charm dangle, which I could have put on a lobster clasp to have made it removable, to make it a gift item, which is a good idea. I've done that with another one, and it's got this lovely tassel here and some beads up there. This one I've embossed the edge with gold. I really, really love the way that's turned out. I love the matte of the paper with the shiny gold. Again, I've got a little charm on here, and I've got some beads and a loop for hanging. Now this one has got a charm which is on a removable lobster clasp. So this is going to be a gift, and I'm going to gift it in with a bird card. I'm going to gift it in with a card, maybe not the same colour, and put both in one of the envelopes. So I've got a card, a Christmas tree decoration, and a gift all in one there. And I think that looks really, really well. All the decorations are both two-sided. That looks great. Doesn't that look so good? Right, come with me. Quick tutorial on how to put these together, the cards and the envelopes, so I'm sure you don't need that. And then a lovely fun exploration of playing about with these birds to make them into Christmas decorations and gifts. So here are my little birdies, all cut out and looking very, very sweet. And here are my envelopes. I've already made one of them up, and these are the other 2. And I've also cut out some of the birds slightly smaller. I've just reduced them slightly on my printer. Let's have a look at the cards first of all. These simply are going to fold together. If you want to ink up your edges, ink up your edges. I'm sure you don't need a tutorial on how to fold an envelope, but we'll do it anyway, seeing as we're here. You've got 4 score lines to follow, this rectangle here. This is the bottom of the envelope. So you fold up your bottom, your sides come in to the middle, and your top comes down over the top. So when you've got them all folded, you can bring your bottom flap up and a little seam of glue on the edge here, and the same on this side. Bring the bottom flap up over the top, and there is your little envelope. You can put a little daub of glue or a sticky dot or something like that underneath this section, or a seam of glue along the whole edge, depends how you want to give it. And there's your cute, cute, cute little envelope. Where's my yellow one gone? And there's my yellow one there. And if you want to ink up these edges as well. There we go. And your bird pops in your envelope and fits just nicely. Don't they work well? Look great. Right, let's move on now to the smaller ones. These smaller ones, I had a bit of an issue with that one, but I wasn't reprinting it. For the sake of the video, I've patched it up, and by the time I'm done, it'll look great. There we go. Right, so these, again, fold in half. This time, I'm going to glue them. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together. And then I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm going to make holes in the top. Now, I've dictated this hole in the top to you because I know that they hang nicely. If I pop a piece of wire or something through there, or my glue bottle, they just hang. You can't see that on the video, but they hang on the right sort of angle. So this one I'm going to treat with UV resin. I'm going to give myself an eyelet first of all, to give myself a nice little bit of finish there. There. And now I'm going to play with my UV resin. Now, you don't have to use UV resin at all. You can keep these plain paper if you want to. You can use glossy accents. You can even use embossing powder, clear embossing powder. But I love my little UV resin kit. It comes with the resin, it comes with a little mat, it comes with a couple of tools, and it comes with a little UV light. And it's like glossy accents, but it dries rock hard, and it only takes 60 seconds, so you don't have the curing time that you do with glossy accents. And all I'm going to do is get myself a finished layer. I'm not going to go too thick. There's something like a 3% shrinkage rate with this UV resin. So on pieces that are larger like this, and that aren't that thick, also like this, can curl because of the shrinkage that occurs. So a good way to get around that is to put a thinner layer on and manipulate it a little bit during the curing process, which is what I'm going to do. Any air bubbles can be taken care of with a heat tool or by popping with a pin. I'll use my other tool. It looks so beautiful already. Quite excited for this one. So just teasing this to the edge. Yeah, so the UV resin, I can pretty much guarantee if you haven't come across this stuff, or if you haven't got a little kit, that you will be very excited and very happy to use it if you're a paper crafter. It's been a bit of a game changer for me in my projects. I'm really, really loving it. And it's about, it cost me about £17–18 from Amazon, and you get the whole kit. And I also did a shed load of research as well, by the way, which I do before I make any kind of purchase. I'm a terrible, terrible procrastinator when it comes to always reading reviews and such like, watching videos. And this stuff, this J-Diction, came out on top for me. So there's a recommend. I'm very happy with it. I haven't got anything to compare it to, but I am very happy with this. And I can see some little air bubbles in here, so I'm just... They say pop them with a pin, but I find just doing this works. And this stuff is pretty much self-leveling. So give it a moment and it'll settle down nicely on the page. Right, so all we do now is plug in our lamp for 60 seconds. But I have got a little bit of a hack. Because as it's drying, it's going to curl. Now, I appreciate that you can't see that overly well. But I'm going to give it a little bit of curing time. I'm watching it and it's curling just a little. If I can do that on the side like this so you can get a view in as well. I can see that it's curling just a little, and just to touch it slightly, see how it's getting on. And then I'm going to manipulate it a little bit. And with the lamp held over my hand, I'm just bending it in the opposite direction to straighten out that curl. Just touch it gently on the edge. It still feels a little bit tacky. Some people seal their work, their printable, with Mod Podge or something like that first. It does kind of sink through the paper, but I like that. I think it adds to the depth of the piece, so that's fine. So my light's gone off, that's cured, still tiny bit tacky, but that's okay. I'm going to do the same with the other side. It dries surprisingly, it cures surprisingly quickly, and that's cured already. I can still feel a little tiny bit of stickiness. Oops, don't touch it with your fingers, Emma. Put fingerprints on that one, that needs a little bit longer. There we go. So that's changed the colour of that. Let's check it out with the original purple one, which is here. Now you see how it's darkened it. That's smashing. Now if you want to, you can go on with another layer of UV resin now, and you can kind of dome it. So you can put a much thicker layer of resin on the top. So this fella's done now. He looks great on that side. I'm not overly keen on him on that side. I've got this slight curl there, but on that side he looks great because he looks more domed because the curve is going that way. So I can make that work for me. This one, whilst all that was going on, I glued in half, stuck it together, and I've put 2 eyelets on and a little bit of bling with these things. And I remember why I don't use these things very often. They're a blooming fiddle. But you may be somebody who enjoys those, so there you go. And this one, the eyelets have gone on in this place, and I'll show you why I've done that. Well, why I've done them, where I've done them. It's because this eyelet here, if I put something through there, it hangs, let's put that way, about there. Okay, so if I were to put another eyelet in the middle there, I would force it, and I was going to put something weighty on the bottom, I would force it to hang more on that kind of angle, and I want it to hang that kind of angle. So I've put my second hole there so it will sit nicely. So there we go, that's my reason for doing that. And now I'm going to faff about with putting a little bit of glossy accent on these leaves only. And I'm using glossy accent rather than the resin, just because it's a fire applicator. I could decant my resin into a needle tip bottle, couldn't I? I did buy some for that very purpose. I'm a twit. But here we go, I'm committed to the glossy accents now. Shall I do the beak? Go on, we're here, aren't we? We're going all in, aren't we? There we go. And shall I let that be? No, because I'm going to put some dots. Just a little set of 3 dots as additional decoration, just to catch the light in a couple of places where there's a nice little gap. And whilst this one is drying, I kind of slipped with the glossy accents, and I put glossy accents on this nice big flower too. I'm going to keep this one a lot simpler and a lot more refined, and this one I'm going to mess about with some embossing powder. Here we go. What could possibly go wrong? So this one here, I would like to gold emboss the edge if I can. So I've got my mirror gold here. Let's fold this in half before I start. And I'm going to take my embossing ink pad, and I am literally going to swipe my ink pad all the way over around the edge. I can see it darkening the edges. I don't know if I can get right into these edges. That's annoying. How do you cope with that, guys? How do you deal with that? I have got some embossing pens. I'm not anticipating a nice even clean edge here. How could I possibly? Let's emboss the whole beak. Let's see what's going on. Now, I don't have dies and rubber stamps and all of that kind of thing for my embossing. There, that's gone on. I can see it's wet. So I'm just going to go for a wet edge all the way around my bird here. I'm going to go for it. There's my beak. A delicate hand. I've just scratched it at the side. There we go. And I'm going to have to brush, I think. Where's my little delicate little paintbrush? Let's grab a delicate little paintbrush. Because I've got bits all over here. I don't particularly want just deal with it a little bit. I'm not after perfection, which is a blooming good job because I'm not going to get it. This is really about me just playing and maybe coming up with some nice ideas. Look at that, I just brushed that off the end of his beak and it was on there perfectly. What do we do about that? Right, so I'm going to pop that on my plate. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. Look, it's worked out beautifully. Right, I'm going to do that again to give myself a slightly deeper embossed edge. But I'm very happy with the way that's turned out, actually. Very happy. Don't mind that I'm not getting it right into that tail area. Let's try and go perfect on the beak this time. Here we go. These are starting to look great. This one that I've embossed twice now is looking absolutely lovely. I love that finish. I love that effect. So, and the tassels are out, so it can only mean one thing. So here they all are together. My glossy accents has dried and I've done both sides there. That looks really sweet. And I've put a tassel through this one here. This is my gold embossed edge bird, and I particularly like this one. The gold is really, really gold. It looks great. This one I really like with its little bits of bling on it. And this one, which is as hard as nails, is my resin, my UV resin bird. And all I'm going to do now is pop some little bits and bobs of embellishment to just fancy them right up. My tassels are going to go through the bottom holes where I've got bottom holes, and also I wasn't a massive fan of how long that piece here, this piece here is, so what I'm going to do is go around again. So I'm going to loosen that off, pop it back through my hole, send it back through. There's just enough room here for me to be able to send this tassel back through. And there we go. I've got a much shorter tassel now that I'm delighted with. And I've got some coordinating waxed thread here, which I've got in various colours and I've had for, I think, jewellery projects in the past. Big fan of using what you have, so do that. So I'm going to tie a knot in my thread. So I'm going to slide my loop end through and then put my loop end through my knot end, if that makes sense. So my knot is kind of hidden around the back, and then I've got a couple of beads that I'm going to pop on here. I've also got here, I've got some really cute little hearts, and I'm thinking I'm going to put one of those on with a jump ring. It's really handy having some basic kind of jewellery supplies kicking around if you haven't got any, just to help jazz things up. And they're not expensive to get a little stash of bits together. I love these puffy little hearts. Close my jump ring up, and there I've got a little heart now over my bird. So he's done. That one's finished. Quite a nice little ornament there. Let's have a look at the resin bird. And I'm not going to do a lot with the resin bird. I've got this nice big bead. I think I'll thread on here, and that will do. for that one. He's quite sweet, isn't he? This little guy I've got some green beads for. Going to keep this one quite simple, I think. I have got a green bauble, a green tassel there that I could add. Don't think I will. I need a massive jump ring for this one, and I hope that I've still got enough room to make it happen. I've got a tool here somewhere. There we go. I've got an eye pin here loaded up with 3 beads and 3 little bead spacers. I've got lots of bits and bobs left over from making earrings. I used to be quite frantic about a few years ago and aren't anymore. So I'll get that little fiddle on, and while we're here, let's pop a feather. Why not? A nice little bit of extra something, isn't it? A little charm. And again, little charms are great to have. They get used for all sorts of things, and you can get them in like bulk little orders from the Amazon. There we go. That's my other one complete. Might think about putting a bead or 2 over this end. There we go. That's that one done. Little funky boho bird with this little funky boho feather there. And my last one is this burgundy one here with the tassel. What shall we do with the top of that, guys? I lost camera there. But this one, I've made a really nice charm, which is a really nice kind of moonstone bead that I had lying around. And I've put that on a jump ring and also a lobster clasp. So this can be removed. So this is a gift as well as a Christmas decoration. And I'll put it in with one of the cards as well. What a nice little gift to give. And I've got a little bell there as well. So I'm tying my knot in my thread. So if I put this through the front, use my knot as the loop, pull my bit through there, I'll kind of lose that knot at the back there. And I've also got these little, don't know what they're called, like little bell caps. I bet that's the name for them. Bell caps that go on the end of chains and things like that. And that will go on there. And let's see if we've got another little bead. And another little bead will slide over there to finish that decoration off. Oh my goodness, that's become my favourite. And it's also a gift as well as a Christmas decoration that will go inside the card. So yeah, happy days. So these are my 4 Christmas decorations, and here are all the cards that we made. So this one, for instance, is going to go in with this one, which hopefully will fit into this envelope. Go on, lads. There we go. That will fit into that envelope. I'll need to faff about with my tassel a little bit, maybe. But I know I can get that in there. And that will become a gift. Fabulous. Love that as an idea. Little charm on a lobster clasp, on a Christmas decoration. What's not to love about that little arrangement there? Great. And then we've got these other cards that I haven't actually made up. Let's make that up. I've made my envelopes. Fold those. And they sit so nicely as well. They sit lovely. They'd nestle in a Christmas tree actually quite well. Hadn't thought about that as an option. I go spending ages making lovely little Christmas decorations, and I could have just nestled my cards in the tree all along. But I've had great fun doing it, so there we go. And so here are my birds, and here are my envelopes, and here are my finished decorations. Where's my other one gone? Where's my fave? There he is. There. I hope you've enjoyed that video. I hope you have loads of fun playing about with these birds and seeing what you come up with. Have great fun. I will see you next time.